The fallout of PlayStation's announcement to cancel physical games has kind of put a asterisk on the entire industry because everyone is now wondering when Nintendo and Microsoft are going to follow suit. And right now, it feels as though Microsoft has already begun doing that because they're doing some physical game to digital sort of program. And given that the next generation of PlayStation and Xbox has yet to even come out, there is heavy speculation that there won't even be a physical disc drive in either of them. So that leaves Nintendo. As you know, the Switch 2 released just a year ago, and a lot of people are wondering about the future of physical games. And one of the big ones was Pocopia, which kind of turned into pretty much a digital exclusive, given that it didn't have the entire game on the cartridge. However, a lot of people have started to kind of realize that Nintendo is not going to stop doing physical games at all, and that became extremely apparent in their financial breakdown, which they do every quarter, and they recently did one for, March to June, and it was revealed that approximately 30% of all game sales go through physical media, and that is compared to PlayStation and Xbox, where PlayStation's at 18% and Xbox is at about 10%. So there is quite a difference, and it is very evident when you even just go to a store. You go to a store and you'll notice that the Nintendo section is way bigger than the PlayStation and Xbox section. Now, I can't prove it because I haven't been to a big store like that, but you go to a Walmart and you'll see that a lot of it, and even within the past few years, before PlayStation made any announcement, you can kind of go there and gauge that Nintendo likes to sell a lot more physical stuff, a lot more physical media, and as much as people rag on those game key cards, and I'm mixed on them, but you think about the game key cards, and a lot of the criticism has been that why aren't they just on a full cartridge? Why aren't they just, and all that? And again, it comes down to that storage. However, people have flipped on those game key cards, and it feels like Nintendo is giving more avenues for people or for developers to make their games physical instead of just shelving the entire thing entirely like PlayStation and Microsoft. And it's just such an interesting dynamic that Nintendo, of all companies, is looking like the most consumer friendly. And this has been a trend that has been kind of persistent for a minute now, that Nintendo is the one that is not actually discontinuing all of this. I literally cannot stop thinking about how it was literally a year ago, where we were just bashing Nintendo all the time. You can scroll back in this channel's catalog. We had a lot of videos bashing Nintendo, and I am fully with it. I fully admit that I was not very nice to Nintendo at all, and the entire internet wasn't either, and we were all calling them cooked, but we truly had no idea what the next year, and we're probably going to make a billion more videos about this topic because the industry is literally in free fall. Like every avenue, you haven't even seen the beginning of it. You have no idea what it's gonna be like with the PlayStation 6 and then Xbox Helix or whatever it's gonna be. It's gonna be a frick storm, bro. It's gonna be really bad. But Nintendo looks to be on the right end of that, and it's just such an interesting dynamic where, you've got PlayStation canceling these, you've got Xbox looking how to bring physical games to digital, and then you've got Nintendo doing these little silly game key cards that are giving, instead of limiting physical, they're actually encouraging companies that would probably just go digital all the way to actually make a physical product. And where game keycards looked to be a massive L a year ago are now looking to be, a positive, because, game keycards are not the greatest. I'm going to make that clear, that I don't really think they're not the greatest things. I'd rather everything be on a cartridge. But essentially, Nintendo's going about it where there is an avenue for game studios to do it, because even with a game keycard, I have a few of them, you can still sell them. It's something tangible. It's something you can go to the store and buy. It's not a code in the box. It is a physical cartridge that, will still work for years and years to come, even after the Switch 3 or whatever comes out. And again, it just gives people a thing to have, to put under the Christmas tree, or just give it to someone for their birthday. Like, something tangible. And PlayStation's not going to have that in 2028. Xbox is certainly not. I mean, if PlayStation's canceling it, Xbox is kind of going around that. And Nintendo has that history of going against the grain, going against the industry, just going down to their, like, just their hardware in general, just being less powerful and more innovative. And it's such an interesting dynamic because Nintendo is following through, man. They're going against the grain because the industry's not going physical, man. They're getting rid of it. And that is just a massive W for Nintendo. Now, in terms of the future, Nintendo is looking to support physical all the way, and the split really does help because PlayStation can easily just knock off 18% of its base. Xbox, I don't know what the hell they're doing, man. They got 10%. I mean, they could literally give two hoots, and again, I don't really know why they're even making another console. That's a different topic for another time. But Nintendo having a huge, like, it's over 30%. It is a huge split from physical and digital will eventually take over, and this was probably always where the industry was going to head because, again, it's like, it's literally from VHS to DVD. It's that all over again, and we didn't expect to see any announcement that there was going to be an all digital future, and PlayStation just kind of did it, and that has kind of brought this entire topic to the forefront. And I am in firm belief that Nintendo low-key ain't gonna stop anytime soon because, again, a disc drive is way more costly than going with cartridges, which is what Nintendo is doing, and they may transfer all of their stuff over to game key cards at some point. And yes, eventually the physical will go away, but as long as Nintendo can keep doing what they're doing right now, and if the split from physical to digital continues to be not 50-50, but just kind of, again, 30 to 70 is not that. I mean, it's high. It's high enough for them to justify continuing. And again, seeing Nintendo go from literally the lows of the lows last year with, like, again, we were bashing everything they were doing, man. We were hating on them so much. And then to come now, a year later, where they are genuinely looking like, they're looking like the best company in the world right now. Nintendo looking like the best company in the world, keeping up with physical media. And I'm going to make a separate video about why physical media is so important. You've probably heard every reason why. But for me specifically, it's the spirit of going to the store, buying a physical game, going home, popping it into your console, and just playing it. Not having to download it from the internet, not having to freaking, just boot up your console, go on the storefront, and just download it. It's just, it doesn't have that charm like going to a game store or going to Walmart or whatever it is. Like, again, the people growing up are not going to have the same experience that I did as a kid, or even something as simple as getting it under the Christmas tree, bro. People ain't gonna have that growing up, and it's gonna be a sad day when that fully goes away. But right now, Nintendo is locking in, and they are continuously supporting physical at every turn. And here's the other aspect behind all of this, and it's not even just physical games in general, is that the Switch 2 released in what we thought was the worst time imaginable, because you've got like all these tariffs, and literally they announced the tariffs on the day of the Switch 2 Direct. It was just terrible timing. But you look at it compared to what the PlayStation 6 and the next Xbox are going to have to line up to, it's just, Nintendo had like 2020 vision. They were completely ahead of the curve, because they get another like 5 or 6 years of the Switch 2, maybe even more. And again, they've got an install base of already 20 million, which is really, really good when you think of it. PlayStation's going to have a tough time, no matter what, because I don't know if they are fully estimating how bad the blowback is for this physical media announcement. Like, that's going to tank a lot. And plus, the price of everything is going to be sky high, man. It is literally going to be probably the first $1,000 machine. Xbox, I don't even think we need to bring up Xbox. Honestly, I think they're just cooked in general, and I think they're just going to have a tough time all around. But Nintendo's ahead of the curve. they don't have to deal with the community bashing them for their decision to get rid of physical games, because they are the only company that has actually outright committed to supporting physical games for the foreseeable future. They're not going to get rid of the format just because Sony did, because they just released a console that has a physical cartridge slot, and it's perfect. And I know that not everything's perfect. They got the physical, they got the game key cards, but would you rather game key cards or nothing at all? No physical product. Like, I would much rather a physical game key card future than just all digital. And again, I am fully in support of physical games, and I think Nintendo is literally just doing it the best. And they've been doing it the best forever, it feels like. And now, Brody, it feels so good. And I know I made so many videos bashing Nintendo, but it feels so good to finally have a positive Nintendo video where they aren't literally the laughing stock of the industry like they were a year ago. It genuinely feels like they've done a 180, and they really haven't done much. They've just not done what the competition has done, and that's a W. That's a W in itself, man, I must admit. But yeah, ladies and gents, let me know what you guys think of this in the comments below. Make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out, everybody.